Oh, but nobody else can get it out of their mind. How do you expect me to? Don't worry about anybody else. Get it out of yours. If they want to worry over it at night, let them. You move on. So here this woman is. Go call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, which is normal to try to hide. The woman answered and said, she went behind a tree just like Adam and Eve did. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Oh, Adam, where art thou? Here's the tree of life calling for that Adam, that little woman, that little Eve laying right down inside of her, behind all those traditions and racial issues and everything else that she had, and economic feelings and political things. Right down on the inside was a real person, a predestinated seed that came from Jesus Christ all the way back before the world was. And Jesus was breaking through every barrier to reach down in there and just touch that seed. And he knew when he touched that seed that her worries were over. She wasn't going to be worried about her husband. She wasn't going to be worried about her politics or anything else. Jesus said, go and get thy husband. She said, oh, I have no husband. And Jesus said, that was well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. 6. So she's had 6 and come into the 7th day, or the 7th man standing there. And you wonder why Brother Branham used this 4th chapter so much? Because Brother Branham knew the time period he was in. He knew that he was at a point that it was noonday at the well, and that everybody was living after traditionalism and false doctrines and things of the world, and they were in total darkness. And he also knew that it was the 7th day, and because it was the 7th day, she had lived with 6, and none of them were hers. I know you live with 5, and the one you're with now is not yours. And here he is. The prophet was in the same condition with the church world. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, thou hast well said, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that saidest thou truly. See, Jesus looked for the true saying. He could have said, you liar. You know you're a liar. And what good is it going to do me to try to convert you anyway? Ain't nobody going to listen to you. Run around with all these men and everything else. See, Jesus could have took that attitude. But he looked for what she said to be the truth. And he capitalized on what she said. He come back and said, you've well said. Those men weren't yours. You really weren't interested in them. And that one you're living with now, you're really not interested in. You're meeting the real one right now. You're meeting Jesus Christ, the 7th one, and he is your real husband. And he's going to give you living water that you'll marry up to and connect with, and it'll bring forth the fruit of righteousness in your life. And here this woman is. The woman saith unto him, Sir. Most women said, Sir, I perceive you're a devil. Get away from me. But she said, I perceive thou art a prophet. You have broken through. You've broken through all my traditions. You've broken through all of my racial issues. You've broken through. You have paid no attention to them. You have not sidetracked yourself on them. You've not done any of these things. You're coming after one thing, and I perceive that. You're a prophet. And when she said, I perceive that thou art a prophet, our father, this last big tradition come out. It's always religion. That's the big tradition. Our father worshipped in the mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Okay, since we're talking about religious things here, and since you want to talk to me, and since I've asked you for the living water, let me tell you what I've learned in my religion. I've learned that some say it's this over here in the mountains, and some say it's this over here in Jerusalem. Some say it's a temple, and some say we're waiting on Moses and Elijah, and some say we're waiting on this one, and some say we're waiting on the second coming. Some say this, and some say that. Jesus, didn't hear wrapped up in it. He didn't stand there and say, oh, so-and-so's wrong, and this is wrong, and that one's wrong. You don't need to listen to this and over here. And don't go back to the mountain. They ain't got a thing to say now. And he didn't worry about it. Jesus had a message to preach. He was going after, I'm talking to you about going to the core, about witnessing about this truth of the third coming. Don't get wrapped up in what so-and-so said down in Tennessee so much that you hurt your testimony, or so-and-so said over here in Canada or anywhere else. Don't get wrapped up in that. Say the third coming. Talk to them about the third coming. Don't go after their traditions, their politics, their religion, or anything else. Go straight to the core. Talk to them about the truth that you have. The truth that you have is the most important thing in the world. It's what gave you life. It's what turned you around. It's what made you what you are today. Don't take the time to fill them full of more negative things. Take the time to witness of the truth to them. That's what this is about. The theophany can do whatever it wants. It can appear in a form of a chariot and pick Elijah up and take him home. It can appear in the form of a wheel in the middle of a wheel and talk to Ezekiel. It can appear any way it wants to. It doesn't have to be a little pillar of fire. It can look like it appeared in Melchizedek and talked with Abraham. It appeared in Melchizedek form and talked to David. On and on and on to all the prophets. And to you, he can appear in many forms, and he does. To every one of us, he's in about 50 forms sitting right here this morning. If you can accept Jesus Christ, he's sitting right here this morning in 50 forms. And we're looking at him. He appears to you in so many forms, trying to show himself to you. Show you his character, show you his beauty, show you who he is. But we're too busy trying to figure out how the one form is. Well, God has more than